Okay, when you're ready to start today's class, let's begin laying down, maybe in Shavasana, lying flat on your back with your arms and legs extended. Maybe constructive rest pose instead with your knees bent and your feet standing up near the edges of the mat. Start in one way and shift anytime you'd like. If there's any extra props you want to get cozy, or maybe some different lighting, or maybe you want to light a candle, go ahead and take these next few minutes here to settle in. And when you do find a place to rest, go ahead and just think about your day so far. Just kind of briefly overviewing how things have been for you today. Maybe highlighting any emotions or naming any emotions you can determine that have been present throughout your day, or maybe even present right now. And checking in with your energy levels. How full is your tank? And what are you hoping to feel like at the end of our class today? And maybe choosing something that came up as an intention or dedication for your practice, if you'd like, bringing that to mind now. Maybe someone or something important in your life, or something you want to focus on or grow. Let's take 5 rounds of diaphragmatic breath here, drawing the air deep down, low and slow, letting the belly expand in all directions with your inhales. And slowly deflating, letting that exhale just kind of happen. Taking a few more rounds like that, inhaling, feeling that expansion. A couple more. When you're ready, let's take 3 clearing breaths next, inhaling through your nose and sighing through your mouth. Beginning to wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe circling ankles and wrists a little bit here. You can let your head rock side to side and just kind of continue to move in ways that feel natural as you start to awaken here. Maybe heading into a long body stretch next, reaching your arms and legs in opposite directions, reaching and stretching. All right, let's bring the hands back down by our sides, moving any props way to the side for now. Coming up to bridge pose. Let's plant the feet. If you want, you could put a block in between your knees just to keep some kind of awareness there. Otherwise, we're just pressing the shoulders, the arms down into the mat. With an inhale, start to press down as you lift the hip points up toward the sky. Let's stay lifted here for a couple of breaths. See if you can find that expansive breath. Taking any little adjustments. Sometimes it's nice to kind of tuck your shoulder blades in behind you. And then exhale, coming back down. Let your knees twist side to side here, and then we'll do that again. Going through another round here of bridge. This time either staying in bridge again or taking 3 rounds of breathing bridge. So getting back into place with an inhale, rising, either holding here or exhaling to lower back down. 2 more breaths. Inhale, lifting or holding. Exhale. 1 more breath in. And then exhale, lower down. Let's hug our knees in toward the chest this time, squeezing kind of the low belly. There's some lymph nodes there as well. So we're just kind of squeezing in, finding a little bit of rocking motion if that feels right. And then letting your knees go a little farther away, just letting your arms kind of go straight. So your hands still hold on to the knees. Just allowing us to find that massaging pressure in some different areas. And then lowering your feet back to the floor. Press your left foot down into the mat as you start to lift and straighten or almost straighten your right leg. Go ahead and circle out your right foot, your right ankle. Wiggle all the right toes. You can always hold on behind your thigh if that helps. You keep that leg lifted. Keep breathing. And then at the top here, let's take a breath in. Exhale, flex your ankle and start to lower your right leg down, keeping it more or less straight. Feel free to rest your right leg on the floor for a second, or inhale, point your toes, lift your right leg back up. Exhale, flex and lower. Just trying your best to keep the rest of your body still as possible. Inhale, point and lift. Exhale, flex and lower. One last time, inhale to the top. This time, exhale, figure 4. Right ankle crosses on top of that left thigh. Figure 4. Let's just stay right here for a couple of breaths, maybe rocking the knees side to side as we ease in. If you want, we can hold still at the center, maybe pressing your right hand into your right knee a little bit. Maybe reaching to interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. Always just do a little of each option if you want. I always try to make these classes kind of cover the full body more or less. And today's class is going to kind of focus on the hips and the low back. But you'll notice along the way, we definitely hit pretty much everything else. So, all right, putting your left foot back down on the ground. This time we're going to add a little something new on to our twist. So we have figure 4 with the legs going on here. You can bring your arms out wide to start. Go ahead and take a breath in. Exhale, let your knees twist toward the left. Inhale, holding there. And exhale. Inhale, come back up to the center. Exhale, let your knees twist down toward the right side, and then keep breathing here as you sweep your left hand over your body, following you into that twist. So your left arm reaches across toward the right side. Just notice where you're feeling anything that you're feeling. And then we'll come back. So take your time, find your pace. We'll do this a couple of times. We're inhaling, maybe coming up to our neutral position. Exhale, knees shift to the left. Inhale, coming to the center. Exhale, twisting the knees, and then sweeping that left arm all the way over. Kind of getting a side bend going here too. Can you feel that if you can reach higher? And then finding your way back. Let's do that one more time on this side. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale to center. And exhale, knees shift to the right. Left arm sweeps around to the right. Holding here for another breath or two. And then coming back to center. Let's straighten both legs here, taking a long body stretch, maybe adding on a little bit of a wiggle through the legs or the arms. Always a good idea to circle hands and wrists, or ankles and wrists rather. And then of course we'll switch sides next. So coming back up to that bridge pose position. Hands could be down by your sides for support. Let's start to lift and straighten, or almost straighten the left leg this time. Always an option to hold on to that leg. And circling out your ankle, wiggling all your toes. Maybe bending and straightening that knee a couple of times. And then we'll add on our lifts and lowers. So when you're ready, up at the top, inhale. And exhale, flex your left ankle and lower your leg down. Inhale, point and lift. Exhale, flex and lower. Trying your best to hold the rest of your body as still as you can. Just feeling how it's like the body is a well-oiled machine here. We can consciously use our stabilizing core muscles. And I'm sure you feel that too. Once you get to the top next, go ahead and find figure 4, bending your left knee and placing your left ankle on the right thigh. Go ahead and take some twists side to side with the knees, just a little bit. And then coming to just our held figure 4 for a bit. Maybe staying right here, or pressing your left hand into the left knee or thigh, or reaching to interlace the fingers behind your right leg. And a couple last breaths. Eventually placing that right foot back down on the floor if it was lifted. And let's twist the knees toward the right. Take a breath in there. And an exhale, staying here still in our twist. Inhale, moving up to the center. And exhale, twisting the knees to the left and then sweeping your right arm around and over until you feel kind of a side bend happening even. Inhale, make your way back up to center. Exhale, let your knees twist toward the right. Inhale, back up to the center, figure 4. And exhale, twisting to the left, reaching the right arm as well. Inhale, back to center one last time. And exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center. And exhale, last twist to the left. Take a few breaths there if it feels good. And then come on back to your back. One more time. Let's take a long body stretch, reaching your arms and legs in opposite directions. And then we'll come up to a seat. So maybe rolling onto either side here and then pressing your way up. Okay, we'll work with our figure four just a little bit more here. So we'll sit up and just kind of noticing here how much effort it really takes to sit unsupported, nice and tall. It's just another kind of subtle way to do some core awareness. Maybe it's not subtle, more subtle than like crunches, but maybe you can feel that in the core. All right, so let's bend the right knee, finding that figure four position. So if it's comfortable, propping the right foot up onto the left thigh. You could add props here. Like I think I'm gonna sit up on a blanket. You could support your right thigh or knee with a block or pillows. You can kind of hold on to your right leg with your right hand on your right knee and your left hand kind of holding your left foot however you'd like. Sitting up nice and tall, even kind of puffing your chest up a little bit. With an inhale, shrug your shoulders up toward your ears. And then exhale, circle back and down, tucking the shoulder blades in. We're sitting up nice and tall. You're welcome to stay right here if this is feeling nice, or try for a little forward fold. We want to keep the chest puffed up. If we do it this way without rounding forward, we're going to have less range to go, but we're going to get, we're targeting the muscles we actually want instead of our just kind of mid back when we round. So keeping the chest puffed up, taking a little forward fold over the crossed leg here. And then when you're ready, coming back up. And let's do that a couple times. So this time we'll bring our hands down to the floor or to blocks. We're inhaling at the top and exhaling as we take a little forward fold. This time we can round forward. Inhale, rise back up, sitting up tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sitting back up one last time. Exhale, forward fold. Come back up to center. Let's switch sides. Right leg goes straight, left knee bends, grabbing props wherever you need them here. If it doesn't feel good to have your foot up on your leg, you can always have it down on the floor for the same general effect. So let's sit up nice and tall, holding the knee and the foot as you puff up your chest, inhaling to shrug your shoulders, and exhaling, circling them down and back with your shoulder blades in place. Taking a few breaths, just kind of holding and feeling stretch if that's occurring for you. And then we'll start into our little forward fold exploration, continuing to keep the chest puffed up here. So we're not going too far. I invite you to even close your eyes and just really subtly kind of lead with the heart and find that feeling. And then we'll flow with it. So coming back up, let's bring the fingertips to the floor or to blocks. Inhale at the top. Exhale, forward fold, rounding forward. Inhale, rising back up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Last time, exhale, fold. And inhale, rise. All right, let both legs go straight now, wiggling them out a little bit. Let's come to hands and knees for a couple rounds of cat and cow. Hands will be right below the shoulders, knees more or less right below the hips. Inhale, cow pose, belly lowers, gaze lifts. Exhale, cat, rounding up through the spine, tucking your chin and tailbone. Inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. Keep going a few more rounds, inhaling to cow, and exhaling to cat. Eventually making your way to extended child's pose, bringing your knees out wide, your big toes touching behind you, sinking your seat toward your heels a little bit or a lot, coming down to the forearms, or maybe walking your hands toward the top of your mat, and then sinking your head and heart toward the floor. Practicing that diaphragmatic breath again. Low and slow. Inhale, rising back up to tabletop. Let's grab our blocks and finding downward dog next. Curling the toes under, starting to pick up the knees, reaching the tailbone high. Little micro bend in the elbows here. And like you're kind of spreading your shoulder blades apart, like they're wrapping the shoulder blades almost around toward the front. So we want to kind of scoop the elbows in so the crease of the elbows gets closer to facing forward. Big breaths. Maybe pedaling out your legs, bending and straightening opposite knees. Inhale, bend your knees, look toward the top of your mat. Exhale, step or walk your way to the top. You are welcome to rest here in ragdoll pose or move between this forward fold and some squats or frog squats, if you will. If that sounds interesting to you, we'll flow with our breath, inhaling to kind of a halfway lift position. And exhale, bending your knees, finding your frog squat. I have my hands on blocks on the inside of my knees and my knees out wide. This just feels good in my body. Trying to puff the chest up here again, paying special attention to the low back and the integrity of the spinal curves. Breathing in and exhale, straighten, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, frog, squat. Couple breaths. One more breath in. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, length through the spine. And then bend your knees and find your way all the way up to the top. Get a little shakeout going here, maybe lifting and lowering your heels a couple of times, heel drops, and just be a nice way to really feel like things are moving in the body. Swing your arms with it, or find another expression here that just comes out. All right, at the top of our mat, let's shift all of the weight to the right foot. Spin the palms to the face, the front of your space, and let's start to find one-legged mountain pose. Left knee starts to lift here a little bit. Maybe the left toes even come up off of the floor. It's up to you. With your exhale, we're going to step the left foot back and hands coming down to your block. So going slow if you want, eventually stepping that left foot down and grabbing hold of your blocks. Inhale, arrow pose. We're gonna sweep the arms forward first, and then exhale, arms swim back. Arrow. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, reaching back. One last time. Inhale, reach forward. And exhale, hands come down to your blocks. Set your left knee down on the floor. And start to shift your hips forward a little bit. I know I've said like sink your hips forward in the past, but I don't really like that word sink anymore. We want to keep some engagement here so we're not like sinking into it. But we're finding that hip opening through the left hip flexor here. So once again, I'm telling you to puff the chest up, tuck your shoulder blades back. Then we'll move here to extend or half splits rather, pulling the hips back, more or less straightening the right leg and peeling the right toes up off of the floor. Inhale here. And exhale, low lunge, shifting forward, planting the right foot and puffing the chest up. Inhale and exhale, half splits. Inhale, low lunge, coming forward. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, low lunge. This time, curl your left toes under and start to straighten both legs at the same time, more or less a pyramid pose. You could keep the right toes down on the floor or kind of balance on the right heel, lifting your right toes up off of the floor. And if you're there, it can feel nice to let your foot kind of rock side to side. And the hip joint is really where that rotation happens. And then go ahead and bring the left knee back down to the floor. Step your right knee back to meet your left. And then lower your chest all the way. Resting your forehead on the floor if that's comfortable as you reach your arms back and down by your sides. Take a few breaths. Inhale, half locust, pressing the tops of your feet down, keeping the feet lowered, lifting the head and heart, and like you're squeezing a big ball or a big beach ball behind your back. Let's stay here. Inhale, option to sweep the arms forward. And exhale, back, lower down. Turn and rest your left cheek on the mat. And let your hips rest. Let your heels sway to the side. One more breath in. One more breath out. Come back to the center. This time we'll keep the upper body lowered and we'll lift the legs. So again, bringing your forehead down to the floor if that feels good. With an inhale, lifting just the right leg. So we're keeping it straight, just lift it up a couple inches. And then lower the right leg. Inhale, lift the left leg. And exhale, lower. Do that again. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, lower. Last time, inhale, left leg lifts. And exhale, lower. Turn. So the right cheek rests on the floor this time. Sighing if you want. I always feel like a dramatic sigh works better. So don't mind me. When you're ready, planting both hands next to your chest. Inhale, press your way up to tabletop. And exhale, child's pose. Knees could be out wide like we did before, or your knees could come a little closer together. Big inhale, expanding through the mid-back. And exhale. One more like that. Inhale to the mid-back. And exhale. Inhale, rise up, tabletop, grabbing your blocks. And exhale, forward fold. Big breath in and out. In and out. Last breath in. Last breath out. Inhale, bend your knees, look toward the top of your mat. Exhale, step just your left foot forward, left foot toward the top of your mat. Lower your right knee down to the floor. Let's shift the hips forward, getting a stretch through the right hip flexor area. And eventually coming back to our half splits. We can work between those two for a few breaths. Inhaling to come forward, puffing the chest up. Exhale back to half splits. This is one of my all-time faves. All right, planting the left foot, curl your right toes under, and then we'll straighten both legs, finding that kind of pyramid stretch. You can keep the left foot down on the floor or lift up the toes and kind of balance on your left heel. And then plant your left foot, bend into your left knee. We're going to go through that arrow pose. So with an inhale, arms reach back. Exhale, reaching forward. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, forward. One last time. Inhale, back. And exhale, forward. Bring your hands down to blocks if you want. Let's try to come up in reverse, like how we stepped back in the beginning. Let's see if we can do that the opposite. So we're kind of shifting up on that right leg, coming up to stand, maybe one-legged mountain pose at the top. Just for a breath in. And then exhale, set your foot down. Take a few moments to yourself. Maybe joining hands together in front of the heart center. Remember your intention. Let's take a clearing breath in through the nose and a sigh to release. Letting your hands come down by your sides. Let's find a little bit of balancing, more balancing today. So any kind of adjustments, if you need to come to a flatter surface or grab a prop, you sure can. Let's shift all the weight to the right leg and start to find tree pose with your left knee opening up, left hip opening up, external rotation there to the left side. Find an unmoving focal point to gaze through. Maybe sliding your left foot up to your calf or giving it a little hoist up to the inner thigh. Keep focusing on your point. If you want to add on any arm movements or variations, now is your time. Okay. Maybe 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then lower everything down. Shake it out. Get ready for the second side. And then we're coming to balance on the left foot with the right knee and the right hip externally rotating toward the right side. Maybe choosing a different focal point this time if you want. Sometimes it can be a challenge to choose a focal point that's higher up or lower down. The most challenging one of all is having an internal drishti, like closing your eyes and turning your gaze to third eye center. Just be careful trying that one. Possibly sliding your foot up your leg and hanging out in tree pose. Adding on arm movements or variations anytime you want. You could purposely destabilize yourself a little bit. Oh, if you want more challenge. Maybe 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then lowering it down. Give it a little shake out and then come on down toward the floor. Maybe coming down through another little squat for a moment if you want. Any other little movements as you transition, go ahead. We'll hug the knees in toward the chest and hanging out here with some free movement, or maybe rocking and rolling a couple of times up and down the spine, as long as that feels nice. And eventually grabbing hold of your feet, baby, happy baby here, grabbing the inside or outside edges of your feet or your big toes, hugging or pulling your knees in toward the armpits, maybe rocking a little bit or just holding steady. If you like the variation, bringing the soles of your feet together, go ahead and move there. Just kind of wrapping your hands around your feet. And then moving into any last poses or movements that you are wanting or needing before your final rest today. Otherwise, as soon as you're ready, maybe heading on back to a similar place as when you started today. Maybe you put your legs up on a chair or up on the couch. We'll take a few minutes here, Shavasana, so Shavasana, corpse pose. It's also kind of represents like not only, like laying down like a corpse, but there's this whole concept of practicing dying, or like die before you die. As in like letting go of your senses, letting go of the titles and the roles that you play, and just kind of stripping back all those temporary pieces of yourself, and just kind of being with that pure awareness, kind of growing that energy at the center, the core of you. So while you're here, just considering peeling back or practicing peeling back some layers just to see how it feels. Relaxing the muscles of your face, relaxing all the muscles of your body. Deeper and deeper towards that state of awareness, loving kindness. Just a few more breaths. When you're ready, slowly wiggling fingers and toes. Maybe deepening your breath. Maybe let your head rock side to side. Continuing to move in ways that feel natural. And eventually rolling onto either side. Fetal position for one more nice slow round of breath. And using the help of your hands and arms, press your way on up to a comfortable seat. Let's bring hands to heart center. Today, let's close our class with 3 rounds of Om. Feel free to hum or chant or sing or just listen. So let's take a breath in to prepare. We'll do this 3 times total. So inhale. Let's begin. Oh. 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 Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Let's bring thumbs up to third eye center and seal our class together with a bow forward. Peace.